Welcome to Bad Wrench Automotive. Okay guys, so here's our 2013 Silverado. I'm going to cover some maintenance things under the hood, and then I'm going to do separate videos on a few things. But for the most part, I want to give you guys a rundown of what the maintenance looks like underneath the hood of this thing. The biggest thing is to make sure you do your regular oil changes and filter changes. These vehicles will run through just about anything. But here's the issue. The VVT engines need to have clean oil. That clean oil is crucial to whether or not those lifters are going to fail early. When they get dirty, they get plugged. When they get plugged, they fail. So if you just get the vehicle, make sure you do an engine oil flush, get everything cleaned up, and get clean oil in it. Also, don't run past 5,000 miles on an oil change. It does really hurt the VVT engines. Stick to about between 3,000 and 4,000 miles on an oil change, and you'll keep that engine running really well for a long time. If you start noticing lifter tick, you will probably need to pull the camshaft. I suggest going with a stage 2 Texas speed cam or something equivalent to that. What that does is brings the power out of the engine, allows you to maximize the ability that engine will have. Plus, it also eliminates that from ever happening again with the lifters, because you're also deleting out the active fuel management part. Now that does require a computer programming. So just so you know, that is a massive deal, and we may have to do that to this truck. I'm slowly noticing a little bit of tick to it. At some point, the tick will get to be too much, and I will just go ahead and dig into it. But that's much later down the road. Let's go ahead and look underneath here for maintenance items. Guys, basically any maintenance items, you always want to check your serpentine belt system, especially on the GM trucks. Oftentimes they are abused and not maintained. Now I have my cover off for one good reason. I need to do a full tune-up on this. A full tune-up is changing my coils, my wires, and my plugs. I will be doing this, and I will be replacing everything with a little bit more of an upgrade. So I do have the round coils. These are more expensive. I then also am going to go with a thicker millimeter wire so it carries the spark better. And I'm going to use a high-grade Iridium plug. I was going to put E3s in this. I've decided against that. I'm not going to do the E3s. I'm going to do the Iridium because it's closer to what the manufacturer requires. Anytime you do oil changes, you guys should always be checking your brakes. This one, we do have a little bit down here. I will be looking at the brake system. There's a good chance that I either need to put rear shoes on this because it has rear disc, or I might have to put front pads in. If I do front pads, I am going to upgrade to a slotted and drilled rotor set. Always check power steering fluid. Always a good idea. Check your hoses, anything for coolant, anything for transmission lines. Make sure there's no leaks. That's the big thing. Also, top off your coolant level. Make sure that's in good shape, and top off your windshield washer fluid right here. Make sure you keep your fluids full. I always like to look at my coolant lines coming back off of my firewall and make sure I don't have any leaks as it comes forward to the engine. These do sometimes need to have coolant flushes done. I will do a separate video on the coolant flush because that is a whole process and you want to do it right. Also, I always check batteries and replace filters if need be. This one had a brand new one that I put in it when I bought it, so it's good now. The battery is about a year old, so I got a few years to go, but usually about 5 years is what I give on these batteries, and then I replace them. So usually at the 5-year mark is when I replace car batteries. Just the amount of cycles that it goes through, and then I do live in extreme temps, so that does make a difference. When changing these, your oil filter is going to be down below, so I run this vehicle up on ramps. Access the drain plug, which is a 15 millimeter. I use a ratcheting wrench so that I can get it loose and tighten up the plug again after I've drained. And then I use a filter socket to loosen it and drop the filter down. All of this can be accessed from underneath. So you run the vehicle up on ramps and then you can get underneath to do that. As far as maintenance underneath the hood, the biggest thing is just keeping these engines clean and keeping them running right. One process that I will be covering later is a throttle body cleaning. That is going to be a whole separate video because GM needs these throttle bodies cleaned. And you have to do it the right way, because if you get any of the spray up into that throttle body, you will short out the electronics. I will be doing a whole separate video on that one, guys, and also on an alternator. And when I do the one on an alternator, you guys are going to know about the upgrade that you can do that literally doesn't cost you very much money, and oftentimes the part stores will carry this alternator versus the one that actually goes in this one. The stock alternator is a smaller amperage. This is a higher amperage. The only reason I go with higher amperage is it's a little bit more heavy duty and it will last a lot longer. But I will go over that. Also, I usually clean mass airflow sensors when I do throttle bodies, so I will cover all of that at this time. I will probably not do a cold air intake on this truck. I will keep this one stock. The one we're going to have fun with is that one over there, guys. That's the one that we have to do the cold air intake because we can no longer get the stock air filter. But guys, this is a look underneath the hood of Big Red. This is a truck that I've brought to the channel, my personal daily driver, and some things that we're going to have fun with over time. Some of them we're going to bring right away because I've already done the projects. Other things we're going to do as we do them. The tonneau cover repair is going to happen fairly soon. Some of the underhood stuff will happen when I get it parked, which will probably be in a few weeks. I do need to get LS Goat done and get that vehicle off into storage. This one's going to get parked in here, and I'm going to start taking the front suspension apart. I'm also going to do an undercoating project, and I'll show you guys all of that. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you get notified when I drop new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.